DCKO is finally here, and this might be the best start of an event I ever seen. So boom, it starts off with Superman getting ready for his fight in the tournament. He puts on brass knuckles he forged in the fortress years ago. And them boys got miniature suns taken from empty universes raging inside of them. He wanted to call them the Donsday Knuckles, but Lois said that's an ass name. Then the doors finally open, and when he walks out, he looks up like, what the? Then we get a flashback of Diana, Bruce, and Clark playing a Justice League board game. Bruce is killing them, and Diana and Clark are like, who the hell made this game and the rules? They flame Clark for not liking games unless no one has to lose. Diana says losing builds character, but Bruce is like, so does winning. Lois invited them all over so they could spend quality time together, and they all appreciate it. They continue playing while joking, talking about children and other private things. Mid-convo, Lois looks back and sees a bright red glow coming from the window. Then when they all look out that window, they see a huge Darkseid outside, destroying the city. He's not just bigger and stronger, nah, he's a universe power given form. Every particle, molecule, and atom is becoming Darkseid. And deep down, all the heroes can feel that Darkseid is different. He's not only in their city, he exists beyond physics. At the same time, he's also in Gotham, Themyscira, the Rock of Eternity, and Oa, fighting all the other heroes around the world. Darkseid has finally become what he was meant to be, the end of everything. He's more than a god. He's all godliness. First he kills Bruce, then he kills Diana, then finally Superman charges him, but he hears a horrible sound that stuns him, then Darkseid kills him. Turns out that's 1 week in the future, and Time Trapper showed them a vision of it. Batman shows Superman that Lois sent him a text about game night in 1 week. So Time Trapper is not capping, and Superman knows it's real. Darkseid has already conquered the future, and he's going back in time, erasing everything and rewriting it as Darkseid. The hero's like, damn, so how do we stop him? This time, y'all don't. And World Forger shows them that they look through every variation, but it all ends with Darkseid consuming them and moving on. Booster Gold and Time Trapper realize they can't do anything but one thing: give up and start over, aka create a new timeline like the New 52 in its own bubble to escape this fate. But the kicker is they won't remember anything or each other. They'll be new. The heroes hate this idea. It sounds like running, and they don't run. Batman says they need to understand how Darkseid became like this. So Time Trapper tells the World Forger to show them. They explain that there's two twin energies in the universe, Alpha and Omega. Alpha is the energy of creation, wild and explosive, and every planet with life is sourced with it, but not apocalypse. It has a heart that runs on Omega, the energy of conquest, control, and absorption. That heart chose Darkseid to be his champion, turning him into a menace, and from that moment, he targeted Earth, the greatest source of alpha energy, to be turned into the new apocalypse. So when he formed the absolute universe, he placed the heart of apocalypse at its primordial Earth center. So all the Omega energy flows into him, turning him into King Omega, the personification of Omega energy. And Time Trapper says that this Earth is already transforming upon his arrival. Batman's like, hold on, if there's another heart of apocalypse forming at the center of our Earth, couldn't we use it to turn one of us into a King Omega? They're like, hell nah, that's a terrible idea. Time Trapper says it's impossible because the heart of apocalypse serves Darkseid only, unless you restart the heart with Omega energy that we don't have. It's a fried plan. Batman's like, nah, Booster Gold is brimming with Omega energy from being trapped with Darkseid for years. He could use that power to blast the heart. Booster Gold's like, I don't think you understand what you would be unleashing. So Batman tells World Forger to show us. So he explains that the heart is sentient, and if restarted, it would immediately seek a champion fueled by conquest only. But you guys are soft as heroes, even hungry and new. It would not let your kind near it. It would defend itself. Batman's like, how? It would test them by creating a tournament with each level being a higher challenge. So no fighting parademons, they would fight between themselves to the death. Then the winner would have to defeat the heart itself to become King Omega. And as King Omega, a sole celestial entity, they would have the power to defeat Darkseid. And if they defeat Darkseid, the universe would bend to them, and they would be able to bring everyone and everything back. Booster Gold encourages this idea, saying he's been in that absolute universe and thinks this might be the only way to take out Darkseid. So Time Trapper finally agrees, like, fine, damn, but they must all be on demon time, no compassion, no mercy. Can y'all truly compete only to win? The heroes look around like, damn. And Superman's like, we're not doing this. Bruce and Diana find him staring out the window, and they tell him this is the only way. He's having his doubts and shit. Batman's like, Clark, this could work. Think about it. But all Clark can think about right now is that terrible sound he heard before Darkseid killed him in that vision. It was the sound of everybody's heart on Earth suddenly doing the same thing. Not dying or stopping, but falling under unison into a single rhythm, all becoming one, Darkseid's. Batman says it's just a game, and Diana says it's Clark's favorite, the one where no one really loses, and he finally agrees. Chapter 2 begins, and they have 7 days to prepare. On day 1, they move to secure the villain. Mr. Terrific sends out T-Spheres to the most dangerous criminals to lock them up. We talking the Joker, Mr. Freeze, Killer Croc, King Shark, Black Manta, and Lex Luthor. On day 2, heroes meet with the world leaders. On day 3, Clark tells them that they can win. We will win. The world's most powerful companies came together to create Mega Arcs, adapted with Brainiac tech to preserve everyone and everything. Mr. Terrific and the Titans will stay behind and protect Earth while the tournament is going on. On day 4, the heroes spend time with their family and friends, spending quality time before things go to shit. On day 5, they prepare for the tournament, choosing gear and weapons. Batman brings out the Justice Buster, Diana grabs the God Killer armor, Cyborg updates his system, activating the Father Box update, and Superman puts on them brass knuckles. And on day 6, it's time. Over 100 heroes set off to complete the tournament. They arrive at the Scartaris Nexus, a passageway to the center of the Earth, and they channel all of Booster Gold's Omega energy and unleash it at the heart of Apocalypse. Chapter 3 begins, and that blast was a success. They stopped the heart, and when it started beating again, it gave all the heroes a vision of themselves winning. They feel what it's like to be the heart's champion, a soul god, to have the universe bend to them. Then the vision vanishes, and the heroes find themselves at the arena gates, and just like that, the tournament is upon them. We finally see what Superman saw in the first panel. He flies out, and these big-ass titans tell him to wait for the other combatants. Then when he looks behind him, he sees Detective Chimp, Swamp Thing, Plastic Man, Wonder Woman, and Batman, and all the other heroes looking ready. The big-ass titans explain the rules.
Those of you who cross the gauntlet early shall move on. The rest perish. But beware, one wrong step, and you may find yourself out. The contest begins at the drop of the Hell Mace.
Billy Batson runs up to Superman and says they can finally see who'd win. But before he can say Shazam, the Hell Mace drops right on him, killing him. Superman, filled with rage, flies up to that Titan and clocks him in the jaw. But Batman looks up like, Clark, lock in. Then we see all the heroes run towards the gate with the intent to win. Damage and Adam Strange die instantly. Jay Garrick steps on a trap, unleashing absolute parademons, aka Omega Demons. And they run out with the Glocks and started murking heroes left and right. We see Green Arrow and Blue Beetle cooked. They're out there fighting for their lives. Ambush Bug murdered just like that. Some heroes make their way past the finish line like Vixen, Power Girl, and Wonder Woman. Clark is still worried about helping his friends get through as he's fighting the Omega Demons without even realizing it. As more heroes run through the portal, it gets smaller and smaller because there's only a certain amount of people that can make it through. But Clark is still fighting, and he realizes he hasn't seen Bruce go through yet. Bruce is behind him, and he's like, Superman, focus, you need to stay. Batman gets stabbed through the chest with a harpoon. Batman! Superman screams in horror. Then a flag saying bang pops out the harpoon. Then Superman gets hit with a blast, knocking him back. It's revealed to be the villains, Joker, Cheetah, Starro, King Shark, Lex Luthor, and Giganta. I guess Batman doesn't always win. Superman looks back and sees Bruce die and crumble away on some Peter Parker Infinity War type shit right in his hands. Then all those villains run past the finish line. We see heroes like Hal Jordan and Blue Beetle die. Before Lex Luthor goes through, he looks back at Clark and smirks. Clark sees the smile of pity that Lex Luthor gave him. A smile that says, "Boy Scout, go save a cat from a tree or some shit." That pissed off Clark, and at that moment, he realized what he needed to do. He flies into the portal, taking the last spot, and all the heroes outside of it die. We get a look at our 32 champions, and only one can become King Omega. The narrator says, "Who you got winning?" Then we find out the person narrating was the Heart of Apocalypse, and it already knows who's gonna win, and all the twists, turns, and surprises coming, like Darkseid's 3 destroyers, Absolute Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Meaning this event is the official crossover of the DC Universe and the Absolute. But the real truth is that none of them win. None. Because what they don't know is that there's one last champion among them, the King himself. Darkseid has taken form of one of their own, and it's revealed that he took control over Booster Gold, and he's the mastermind behind this whole thing. Like I said, this is one of the craziest starts to an event I ever seen. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments. I appreciate y'all watching this whole video. Make sure you like, comment, and follow, and I'm gonna see y'all boys and girls next time.